Hello everyone. My name is Linda and I want to tell you a story that happened to my friend Rose. I named this story as, "My sister stole my card while I was asleep." In a week, $12,000 was missing, used for vacation with her boyfriend in Hawaii and fancy clothes. Mom said, "Don't call again with these lies." So I smiled because the card she used. Well, let's go. So this whole mess started on a Friday night when I was just trying to have a quiet evening at home. My name's Rose, I'm 30, and I run a landscaping company with my best friend from college. We started it right after graduation and it's been doing pretty well. I live alone in a decent apartment downtown, and honestly, I like my space. I was settling in with some Netflix when there was this knock on my door around 10 p.m. I wasn't expecting anyone, so I was pretty surprised to see my sister Lisa standing there with this big smile on her face. Lisa's 24 and still lives with our parents. She's never really held down a steady job, keeps quitting after a month or two, then takes these long breaks where she finds herself or whatever. "Hey Rose. I was at this party nearby and figured I'd crash here tonight instead of going all the way home," she said, pushing past me into the apartment. I mean, what was I supposed to say? She's family. Sure, you can take the guest room, but next time maybe call first? Thanks, you're the best. She gave me this quick hug and headed straight for the guest bedroom. I'm super tired, so I'm just gonna crash. That was weird. Lisa usually wants to chat for hours when she comes over, asking about work, wanting to hear about whatever drama is happening in my life. But she seemed kind of rushed, almost nervous. I shrugged it off though. Maybe the party had worn her out. I went to bed around midnight, but I kept hearing her moving around in there. The guest room shares a wall with my bedroom, so I could hear her opening and closing drawers, talking quietly on her phone. I figured she was just texting friends about the party or something. Saturday morning, I woke up around 8 a.m. planning to make us both breakfast. Lisa loves my pancakes, and I thought it would be nice to catch up properly. But when I got to the kitchen, I heard the front door closing. I rushed to the window and saw her walking quickly down the street with her overnight bag. That was really strange. Lisa never gets up early. Ever. On weekends, she sleeps until noon at least. Our parents always joke that they have to drag her out of bed for family dinners that start at 2 p.m. I called after her from the window, "Lisa, where are you going?" I was about to make breakfast. She turned around and waved, shouting back, "Sorry, I have to run, thanks for letting me stay." Then she practically jogged to catch a bus. I stood there confused. Why was she in such a hurry? And why wouldn't she want breakfast? Something felt off, but I couldn't put my finger on what. The rest of Saturday was pretty normal. I did some grocery shopping, cleaned the apartment, caught up on some paperwork for the company. Around 6 p.m., my friend Sarah called. She's my business partner and co-owner of the landscaping company. We talked for a while about some upcoming projects, then I made myself dinner and went to bed early. I was tired from the busy week. But around 2 a.m., I woke up to this constant buzzing sound. My phone was lighting up over and over again on the nightstand. At first I thought it might be an emergency, but then I figured it was probably just spam notifications. You know how it is, sometimes you get hit with a bunch of junk messages all at once. I was so tired that I just turned the sound off and went back to sleep. I told myself I'd deal with whatever it was in the morning. If it had been a real emergency, someone would have called, right? Sunday morning, I woke up feeling rested but still thinking about how odd Lisa had acted. I made coffee and grabbed my phone to check what all that buzzing had been about the night before. When I opened my messages, my stomach dropped. The first notification was from my bank, transaction approved, $4,847.50, Hawaiian Airlines, first class tickets, too. I stared at the screen. What the hell? I definitely hadn't bought plane tickets to Hawaii. And definitely not first-class tickets for 2 people. The next message was even worse, transaction approved, $892, Grand Wailea Resort, hotel reservation confirmed. Then another, transaction approved, $356.78, surf and sand boutique, swimwear purchase. And another, transaction approved, $178.30, Ocean View Restaurant, payment processed. My hands were shaking as I kept scrolling. More and more charges, all from Hawaii, all expensive. Duty-free purchases, spa treatments, hotel upgrades. Someone had spent thousands of dollars on my card while I was sleeping. I ran to my purse and dumped everything out on the kitchen table. My regular credit card was there, but my corporate card was gone. The company card that's linked to our business account. And then it hit me like a punch to the gut, Lisa. She was the only person who had been in my apartment. She was the only one who could have taken it. I tried calling her immediately, but it went straight to voicemail. I called again, voicemail, again, voicemail. I sat there staring at my phone, reading through all the charges again, feeling sick to my stomach. How could she do this? How could my own sister steal from me? I must have tried calling Lisa 20 times that morning. Every single call went straight to voicemail. Her phone was either off or she was deliberately ignoring me. I was getting more pissed off by the minute. Finally, I decided to call my parents. My mom picked up on the third ring. "Hi Rose, what's wrong? You sound upset." I took a deep breath. "Mom, Lisa stole my credit card and she's been using it in Hawaii. She's already spent thousands of dollars." There was this long pause, then my mom's voice got really cold. "Rose, I don't want to hear you talking about your sister like that. That's a terrible thing to accuse her of." "I'm not accusing her, Mom, I'm telling you what happened. She was here Friday night, and now my card is missing and there are charges from Hawaii all over my bank statement. Lisa's boyfriend paid for their entire trip. She told me so herself. You're just jealous that she's having fun while you're working all the time." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Jealous? "Mom, someone used my corporate card to buy first-class tickets and book expensive hotels. This isn't about jealousy." "I don't want to hear another word about this," she snapped. "You need to stop saying these awful things about Lisa. Don't call here again with these lies." And she hung up on me. My own mother hung up on me when I was trying to tell her that her precious youngest daughter had stolen from me. I sat there staring at my phone, feeling completely betrayed. Not just by Lisa, but by my parents too. They always took her side, no matter what she did. It had been like this my whole life. I poured myself another cup of coffee and tried to think clearly. At first, I wanted to call the bank right away and report the fraud. Get the card cancelled, file a police report, the whole thing. But then something stopped me. Maybe it was the way my mom had dismissed me so quickly, or maybe it was all the years of watching my parents bail Lisa out of every stupid decision she'd ever made. But I decided I wasn't going to rush into anything. I wanted to see how this played out first. Instead, I called Sarah. She needed to know what had happened since it was our company card that got stolen. "Sarah, we have a problem. Lisa stole our corporate card and she's in Hawaii spending company money." "What, are you serious?" I told her everything, the weird Friday night visit, Lisa leaving early, the charges I'd discovered. Sarah listened without interrupting, which I appreciated. She wasn't immediately calling me crazy like my mom had. "Jesus, Rose, how much did she spend?" "I'm still going through all the notifications, but it's got to be at least $8,000 so far, maybe more. We need to call the bank and the police right now." "Actually, I have a different idea. I want to wait and see what happens. Let her finish her little vacation, then we'll deal with her when she gets back." "What do you mean?" "Rose, she's stealing from us." I explained my plan to Sarah. I didn't want to give Lisa the satisfaction of ruining her trip by getting the card cancelled while she was still spending. I wanted her to think she'd gotten away with it completely. Then, when she came home all relaxed and happy, thinking she was so clever, we'd hit her with everything. After I hung up with Sarah, I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I went to Lisa's Instagram page. She'd already posted 3 photos from the airport and 2 from the hotel. Big smile, tropical drinks, captions like living my best life, and so grateful for this amazing trip. Yeah, real grateful, grateful that her sister was stupid enough to leave her purse where a thief could get to it. Over the next few days, I checked her Instagram obsessively. She was posting constantly. Breakfast by the pool, shopping at expensive boutiques, dinner at fancy restaurants, spa treatments, snorkeling tours. Everything paid for with my money. The captions were the worst part. Boyfriend surprised me with the most amazing vacation, and feeling so blessed and loved. She was taking credit for everything, letting everyone think her boyfriend was this generous guy who'd swept her off to Hawaii. By Wednesday, I'd counted at least 15 posts. She was documenting every single thing she did, every meal she ate, every drink she ordered. It was like she wanted the whole world to see how great her life was. The charges kept coming too. More restaurants, more shopping, more hotel upgrades. By Thursday, the total was over $12,000. $12,000 of company money that she'd stolen to play pretend with some guy. I started thinking about all the times I'd helped Lisa financially over the years. When we were kids, I'd started working part-time at 15, and I always shared my money with her. Bought her candy, little toys, whatever she wanted. Our parents thought it was so sweet how I looked out for my little sister. When she decided she wanted to go to private college, they came to me asking if I could help pay for it. Just until we can figure out the financial aid, they said. So I paid for her first year. $28,000. And what did she do? Dropped out after one semester because she wasn't feeling it. After that, she was always asking for money. Gas money, money for clothes, money to go out with friends. And I usually gave it to her because I felt sorry for her. She couldn't seem to hold down a job, and our parents just kept making excuses for her. Now I realized I'd been enabling her this whole time. Every time I bailed her out, I was teaching her that she didn't have to be responsible for her own actions. Someone would always be there to fix her problems. Well, not this time. This time she was going to learn what consequences actually felt like. Friday came and went, then Saturday, then Sunday. A full week of Lisa living it up in Hawaii on stolen money. Her posts were getting even more obnoxious. Professional-looking photos of her and the boyfriend on the beach, fancy dinner spreads, her modeling new clothes and jewelry. Then Sunday night, she posted a photo from the airport with the caption, "I was so tired, but it was a pleasant stay with lots of pleasant surprises." I actually laughed when I read that, pleasant surprises. She had no idea what kind of surprise was waiting for her at home. Monday morning, Lisa posted another picture from the airplane with the caption, "Flying home. Missed my family so much." I rolled my eyes so hard they almost fell out of my head. She was about to find out just how much her family had missed her. I waited 3 days after she got back before making my move. I wanted her to get comfortable, to think she'd gotten away with everything. During those 3 days, she posted more pictures, unpacking her new clothes, showing off her tan, talking about how recharged and grateful she felt. Wednesday evening, I gathered all the bank statements, printed out screenshots of her Instagram posts, and put everything in a folder. Then I drove to my parents' house. I knocked on the door and Dad answered. "Rose, what a nice surprise, come in, come in." Mom appeared from the kitchen, and her face immediately got that defensive look, "If you're here to start more trouble about Lisa Dash." "Actually, I'm here to finish it," I said, walking into the living room where Lisa was sprawled on the couch looking very tan and relaxed. She gave me this smug little smile that made my blood boil. "Hi Rose, how's work been?" she asked, like nothing had happened. I set the folder down on the coffee table. "Mom, before you say anything, I want you to know that I filed a police report yesterday. There's already an investigation underway." Mom's face went white. "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about the fact that Lisa stole my corporate credit card and spent over $12,000 of company money on her little vacation." Lisa sat up straight. "I didn't steal anything. I just borrowed your card for a few days. You took it without permission and used it to buy plane tickets, hotel rooms, and God knows what else." That's called theft. Rose, stop this nonsense right now, Mom said. Lisa told us her boyfriend paid for everything. I opened the folder and spread out the bank statements, then explained these charges. Every single one matches up with her Instagram posts. The hotel she stayed at, the restaurants she ate at, even the boutiques where she bought those new clothes she's been showing off. Dad leaned over to look at the papers. His face got really serious as he read through them. Lisa was getting nervous now. Look, I was going to pay you back. It's not like I meant to hurt anyone. Pay me back with what money? You don't have a job. You never have money. I'll get a job, I'll figure it out. I pulled out more papers. It gets worse. Detective Martinez from the Financial Crimes Unit contacted the hotel, the airline, and several of the stores. They have security footage of you using the card. They also traced the email address that was used to book the flights and hotel. It's registered to you. The room went dead quiet. Lisa was staring at me with her mouth open. You called the police on your own sister? Mom asked, her voice shaking. I called the police because someone stole $12,000 from my business. The fact that it was my sister makes it worse, not better. Rose, please, Lisa said, and now she was starting to cry. I'm sorry, okay? I'll do whatever you want. Just don't let me go to jail. It's too late for that, the investigation is already started. But here's the thing, it wasn't just my personal credit card you stole. It was my corporate card. That means you didn't just steal from me, you stole from my company. Dad was looking confused. What's the difference? The difference is that the company doesn't belong to just me. Sarah owns half of it. So Lisa didn't just commit theft, she committed corporate fraud. That's a felony. Lisa was full on sobbing now. I didn't know. I thought it was just your regular card. You thought wrong, and Sarah isn't as forgiving as I am. She wants to prosecute to the full extent of the law. Mom was pacing back and forth. There has to be something we can do. We'll pay the money back. It's not about the money anymore, Mom, it's about the principle. Lisa has been getting away with stuff like this her whole life, and someone finally needs to hold her accountable. What do you mean, stuff like this? Dad asked. Oh come on, Dad, you know exactly what I mean. How many times has she quit jobs without notice? How many times have you guys had to bail her out of some mess? How much money have I personally given her over the years? That's different, Mom said. Family helps family. Family doesn't steal from family. And they sure as hell don't steal $12,000 and then post pictures on Instagram bragging about their vacation. I gathered up the papers and put them back in the folder. Detective Martinez said he'll be in touch with Lisa directly. He's going to offer her a plea deal, pay back the full amount and accept a suspended sentence, or go to trial and face up to 5 years in prison. Lisa was hyperventilating now. 5 years? For using a credit card? For stealing $12,000 and committing fraud against a business entity, yeah, 5 years. I stood up and headed for the door. I'll leave these copies of the evidence here so you can look them over. My lawyer says Lisa has 48 hours to decide whether she wants to take the plea deal or not. Rose, wait, Mom called after me, but I was already walking out. Don't call me until you're ready to discuss how Lisa is going to pay back every penny she stole. I got in my car and drove away, leaving them there with all the evidence spread out on their coffee table. My phone started ringing before I even made it to the end of their street, but I didn't answer. For the first time in days, I felt like I could breathe properly. Lisa finally knew that her actions had consequences, and my parents finally understood that I wasn't going to just let this slide like I always had before. The next morning, Detective Martinez called me. I spoke with your sister yesterday evening. She was pretty shaken up. I bet she was. What did she say? She asked for some time to think about the plea deal. She has until Friday to give me an answer. And if she doesn't take it? Then we move forward with formal charges and a court date. Given the evidence, it's a pretty solid case. After I hung up, I felt something I hadn't felt in years when it came to dealing with Lisa: hope. Hope that she might finally learn something from this mess. The next few days were chaos. My phone rang constantly, Mom, Dad, even Lisa calling and leaving these desperate voicemails. I didn't answer a single one. I was done being their emotional dumping ground. Then Sarah told me something interesting. Your mom called me yesterday, she said when we met for coffee Thursday morning. She begged me to convince you to drop the charges. Said they'd pay everything back but they needed time. Like a year or something. I almost choked on my coffee. A year? Does she think this is a payment plan for a car? I told her we'd only deal with this through our lawyer from now on. She didn't like that answer. Friday afternoon, Detective Martinez called again. Your sister wants to take the plea deal, she'll pay back the full amount. That evening, Mom and Lisa showed up at my apartment. I almost didn't let them in, but Lisa looked like she'd been crying for days and I felt a tiny bit sorry for her. Tiny. Rose, please, Lisa said as soon as I opened the door. I'll do whatever you want. Just make this go away. It's too late to make it go away. You're going to pay back every penny and accept the consequences. Mom pushed past both of us into my living room. This is ridiculous. You're going to destroy your sister's future over money. I'm going to hold my sister accountable for stealing from my business. There's a difference. We can pay you back over time, Mom said. We'll write you a promissory note. We'll pay interest, whatever you want. I don't want your promissory note. I want the money back in 2 weeks, just like the plea agreement says. Lisa was sobbing again. Where am I supposed to get $12,000 in 2 weeks? I don't have a job. You should have thought about that before you stole it. You're being cruel, Mom said. We're family. Family forgives each other. Family doesn't steal from each other in the first place. And I'm tired of being the only one who has to do the forgiving while Lisa keeps doing whatever she wants. They argued with me for another hour, but I didn't budge. Finally they left, calling me heartless and ungrateful. The next day, something unexpected happened. Lisa's boyfriend called me. Hi Rose, this is Jake, Lisa's, well, I guess ex-boyfriend now. Okay? I wanted to apologize. I had no idea about the credit card thing. Lisa told me her parents had given her money for the trip. If I'd known it was stolen, I never would have gone. I was surprised. Why are you telling me this? Because I feel terrible. I spent that money too, even if I didn't know where it came from. I want to pay back half of what she spent. You don't have to do that. Yeah, I do, it's the right thing to do. Plus, I broke up with her as soon as I found out what she'd done. I can't be with someone who steals from their own family. A week later, we all met at my lawyer's office to sign the repayment agreement. Lisa looked awful, pale, thin, like she hadn't been sleeping. Jake was there too, and it was obvious they weren't together anymore. They sat on opposite sides of the room and didn't even look at each other. Jake signed papers agreeing to pay $6,000 within 2 weeks. My parents signed for the other $6,000 since Lisa had no money and no job. Lisa just sat there crying the whole time. When we left the lawyer's office, Jake came up to me. I'm really sorry this happened to you. And I'm sorry it took me so long to find out what kind of person she really is. It's not your fault, Lisa's been fooling people her whole life. 2 weeks later, both payments came through. Jake paid his half immediately. My parents had to take out a loan to cover Lisa's half because she still hadn't gotten a job. Sarah and I officially withdrew the criminal complaint, but the police told us that the record of the investigation would stay in Lisa's file permanently. Any future background checks would show that she'd been investigated for theft and fraud. Months passed, and I had zero contact with my family. But word got around to our relatives about what had happened. My aunt called me, then my uncle, then my cousins. They all wanted to hear my side of the story. I can't believe Lisa would do something like that, my aunt said. I mean, I knew she was irresponsible, but stealing? If you ever invite her over, I told each of them, I'd hide your wallets. The funny thing is, Lisa still doesn't have a job. According to my cousin who talks to my mom, Lisa's been telling everyone that it's my fault she can't find work. That the background check thing is ruining her life. I heard through the grapevine that she'd applied for a few retail jobs and a bank teller position. All of them required background checks. All of them passed on hiring her. My parents are still supporting her completely. They still make excuses for her, still act like she's the victim in all this. They've told the whole extended family that I set Lisa up and wanted to destroy her future. But here's the thing, I don't feel bad about it anymore. For years, I enabled Lisa just like my parents did. I gave her money whenever she asked, bailed her out of problems, made excuses for her behavior. I thought I was being a good sister, but really I was just teaching her that she could do whatever she wanted without consequences. Well, now she knows better, and so do I. Sarah and I are doing great. The business is thriving, and we learned our lesson about keeping the corporate cards more secure. We each have our own now, and mine stays locked in my desk at the office. Sometimes I wonder if Lisa will ever get her act together. Part of me hopes she will, because despite everything, she's still my sister. But I'm not holding my breath. And I'm definitely not giving her any more chances to prove me wrong. Some people never learn, but at least now I have.